They say time is never gonna be right. It's as hazy as it was 7 months ago when I tried to find an answer. India's second wave of COVID 19 has led to not only an unspoken mental anguish, but has also subjected the world's largest youth population to the guilt of missing out on the best years of their life. The years of unimaginable growth and learning are shut behind the doors, and no one's taking account of that. It is pretty evident from the tsunami of nostalgic stories on Instagram that we witness. Further, an independent survey conducted by me and my friends suggested that more than 70% of the students were willing to follow the SOP and be back on campus, and the remaining bunch strongly urged for the college to open in July. So far, no consolidating steps have been taken to establish a mechanism of coexistence of online education and COVID 19. Because let's face it, it isn't that we'll wake up one fine day and COVID will be gone. It will be there, and we must find a way to coexist. I hope we have education system as a priority, because it was so disheartening when theaters and malls were opened in mid-February, but most of the colleges came up with no plans or vision to reopen institutes. Whereas our counterparts in other countries find themselves in a better place. The already dilapidated education system is taking its last gasp of breath with the online system, which is serving nothing more than testing one's copying and teamwork skills. A study published in April of this year revealed 43.8% and 40% of the participants had normal anxiety and depression scores, while 22.4% showed borderline abnormal anxiety depression. What makes us believe that this generation of engineers and doctors with no practical exposure will stand an equal chance in the job market. Many medical institutes are reopening, but the story for most of the NITs, IITs, and GFTIs remains the same. If doctors can drive us out of this pandemic by strengthening the healthcare, we engineers can undertake projects and use our technical skills to engineer an infrastructure that is sustainable even in the times to come. We see many examples where these technical institutes have come, and these breakthrough engineering ideas usually spring up from the open late night discussions or that accidental conversation that with one of the seniors that students have on campus. With online education serving nothing more than MOOCs, scope of these innovations are nearly eliminated. Now here's the thing. We are somewhere in the middle of the peak of the second wave and anticipating another third wave with black fungus as an emerging threat. We are waiting for COVID-19 to be completely eradicated. It's a long wait then. So it's crucial we talk about and take strides towards opening colleges and institutes in a planned way. The obvious argument thrown is at anyone who proposes any plan of reopening the institute is, have you seen the annihilation and the death toll caused by the pandemic? My answer is, are we causing it? Having quarantined ourselves for 450 days almost. You'll find the reason for the spread when you visit a local mandi or a railway station, and how certain employees of many private organizations are defying the SOP norms. In computer science, there's something called the dining philosopher's problem, which is so apt in our case. So, what is the solution? Well, there is no one solution. Based on certain factors such as demography, the study of the population and trends of COVID-19 in any particular region where the college is situated is important. The infrastructure to accommodate students in case of any emergency or to quarantine students is also very crucial whenever thinking of a plan to reopen college. The third thing is the health infrastructure. When we are under a severe health crisis, more people are dying because of the unavailability of oxygen than the infection itself. So it becomes vital that the colleges have the right supply of healthcare equipments. Now comes the toughest and the most complicated part. We urge the government to step in and allocate funds to improve the healthcare and revitalize the education system. So the colleges with residential campuses may call students who are willing to be back. The SOP must be strictly followed. There should be mandatory weekly testing, and all the students should be vaccinated to minimize the level of risk involved. An approximate estimate of the number of BTech students is 2 to 3 lakh, which means the government needs to allocate around 6 lakh doses to get them vaccinated. Recently, it was reported that 4.6 million doses of COVID-19 vaccine were wasted in India. If the construction work, the functioning of private organization with 50% strength, and the steps to strengthen the democratic institutions such as having elections or building the new parliament can happen in parallel with COVID-19. So why can't we support the institutes in which the future of this country resides? Here resides the students who are capable to drive us out of the financial aftermath that followed post-COVID. What trends have taught us that the cases will go down, but won't be too long before another wave springs up. Now, normalcy is not achieved directly, discreetly. It is achieved by small steps as time tends to infinity. The tragedy of the moment is that we students are so driven to organize ourselves into left and right that we've forgotten that we're students first. And if we don't ask for what is ours, no one else would.